Happy to see you, my brother. Good morning,
Yes,
good evening. Uh, Depends on what time you see this. Good afternoon for those of you that will see this in the afternoon. So this is your boy Rubza Morph King from the Morph King Network. And this one we call it Our Friends Abroad. And today we're having a very good friend of mine. He's in Zim right now, and we will be having a conversation just to get a bit of what happens that side. Who is he? What is it that he's involved in? So essentially, this show is just to connect with different worlds, different professions, different talents, artists as well. I believe we will use this to understand each other more, whether we are in South Africa, whether we are in Zim, we are in Madagascar, or wherever in the world whereby we can have these conversations. And today we have Mr. Tinashi Gore. You know your name is still stored as Ola Tinashi.
yeah, come on. You can't be doing that.
I promise you, my brother, it's still stored as Ola Tinashi. How are you?
Eh? Yeah, I'm good. I still wonder what the Ola is for. Like, uh, every time you want to call me, you are like, Ola Tnash.
Yeah. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, this is a good friend of mine. I think he's in the wrong career. He's an engineer, but I feel like you are supposed to be a comedian, if we are being honest to each other here.
Yeah, probably in another life.
In
But
another,
we gotta pay the.
my brother, it's so good to have you on the show. Um,
Yeah,
and I hope we're going to. It seems like we are going somewhere.
change of plans.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah,
Are you almost there?
yeah, I'm almost there. I think I'm 5, 10 minutes away, but we can go ahead.
Okay. Um, how's the traffic? Is not too bad. We don't want to.
Oh, to change this show into the second from disaster.
Thousand ways to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So thank
while
you for inviting me, and it's an honor. I believe I'm the first guest for this type of a show, and I don't know how to really put it in words, but it's a very big honor that you've given me.
thank you so much for also availing yourself and making time for us. I understand that you are a very busy man, but we really appreciate this. You are a father,
Okay.
a husband, a business person, um, an engineer as well, and also a good
Yeah.
citizen from the country of Zimbabwe, I believe.
No, 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 no. From the Republic of South Africa. I was there. I
Yeah,
I came back without any infractions or any bending of the law.
you didn't actually. You know, I'm really proud of you that your time here. So just a background, I met or Mr. Tinashi met me um working for a company called Techmal Petroleum Services. And I believe we were both game changers. But him, hey, this guy was something else. He came to the company and he escalated it to higher heights. He was almost like the engine of many things in the company. And um, well, it's the first time worked with an engineer, and I feel like it was short time. We were supposed to have worked for a very long time. But just to give people a heads up on exactly what do you do, what's your journey, and what inspired you to be where you are right now.
Uh, so maybe I can start from when I was born. I'll start from where all this started to make sense. So being in high school, I had a classmate of mine. He's a general. His name is Newton. So we had the idea of being engineers back then. And so we started focusing our studies more on doing that rather than trying to spread our efforts on all of the subjects that we were learning. Uh, we did manage to pass all of them, but there was much effort in the areas that would take us to further our studies into engineering. So then, when we finished our studies going into universities, unfortunately, him being smarter than me, he excelled more and was got a place at University of Zimbabwe, and me, I had to get a place at Chino University of Technology. So then he was doing mechanical engineering at UZ, and I did mechatronics, which was a combination of mechanical and electrical engineering. So fast forward 4 or 5 years down the line, I was finished with my studies, 2015. Then 2016, I was just sort of job hopping from one place to the other, just trying to look for somewhere where you can earn a living. So I worked for Higher Life Foundation. Then at some other points, I was doing my own gas retail business, just trying to make ends meet. But when I was at High Life Foundation, that's when the opportunity to come to South Africa came, and I met Mr. Zolapato, and we had our discussions, and he approved the idea of us joining the team, and that's when we went to South Africa. That was in 2018, and I joined this wonderful guy and this wonderful firm. Yeah, I really had a good time there. The good thing about being in South Africa, it opened my eyes to new opportunities that I wasn't aware of. The company we were working for, Tecmo Petroleum Services, was a service provider in the petroleum industry. New greenfield projects for pump and tank installations, uh, depot maintenance. There was a lot of stuff going on there. Then I was recruited as a project coordinator, and I managed quite a number of projects during the time there until the time COVID hit. And unfortunately, when the lockdowns started, or
Eish.
fortunately, I was in Zim, and I was locked out of South Africa, but still we had to survive. So that's when the idea came to me to say, when I was given my severance package, I then converted that into registering a company for now marketing and engineering. It was sort of like a mimic of PED marketing and engineering. That was
Yeah, I
the
know.
idea. So I started to retail the petroleum equipment. But so we started small, very, very small, because we didn't have anything. I just managed to buy, I think, 2 boxes of dipping paste. Uh, got them here in Zim, started going around on foot to from one service station to the next, marketing the product without even knowing what was the retail price. I had my own price, only to find out that the market is a lower price than the one that I was trying to market the product at. Then fortunately, I had this one client who, for some reason, I went to his service station, and I had no flyer, no business card. All I had was the product. So I met this guy. He was the franchisee for that save station. It was a total save station. So I talked to him. Sir, I've got these products that I'm selling. These are my prices. So I don't know what he saw in me. Then he said, okay, I'm not going to buy these ones that you have. I want you to keep going around marketing these, selling them to other people. But I'm going to make an order and I'll give you the money up front. And I want you to go and purchase 2 boxes of dripping paste and another 2 boxes of water finding paste. Then then said, dude, so what are you? Can you give me a business card or something or a flyer? And I'm like, I haven't even availed funds for that yet. what when we started this thing, it drained us broke. So that's how we got our first order, and we kept pushing the product, and started to understand that there are other products that some they were being we could manufacture locally, like dipsticks. We did the aluminium ones. So that's how we started that. And it wasn't very lucrative to say because the orders were not much, but we kept pushing until, the demands of the family demanded that I had to look for a full-time job. Since the COVID pandemic was starting to settle down, so I then became a full-time employee for it was Nash Furnitures. I was an electrical sort of fuzzy, just like a jack of all trades maintenance person because I was doing
Man.
mechanical, electrical, basically all the plant maintenance that they needed, and the money was not until I decided to quit. When I quit, fortunately, another colleague of mine, he managed to hook me up with a project that he was doing. That was an electrical installations for cluster development. When I started doing that, it worked. Like 2-3 months down the line, I started realizing the property developer wasn't an option. The full fees of the work that we had done. Fast forward, then I got another full-time job to do electrical installations again for blocks of flats. While we were doing that, that's when I then got the opportunity to get into the consultancy space. This guy I'm saying, the one who went to Germany, is the one who hooked me up with that gig. So we did our first Caps Bank, doing consultancy there, did the designs, the bills, the BOQs, prepared the tender documents, submitted to the client. They gave us feedback of the contractors that had submitted their bills. We did our adjudication and recommended a contractor to the client, and the contractor was awarded the job, managed until everything was done. So this I was doing as a part-time for my current employers now. So then we got from one project to another until the guys came and said, look, it's better for them if I am a full-time employee than if I am
A consultant. I think maybe you need to find a better spot for you to.
well until they decided, look, rather than having you on this project-to-project basis, let's have you on full-time, and we agreed the rate, and that's how I joined the firm. Then fast forward to today, I didn't abandon my idea of having my own company. So I started pushing my petroleum products. Now I had more resources, and I was more mature in terms of as a person as well as a business person. Started doing all the necessary work. I At the start I was very skeptical about recruitment. Didn't have the faith to know if I was going to be able to sustain to pay someone. It The idea of me just being responsible for someone, that was quite ridiculous. But then I could see the workload was becoming too much for me, trying to balance my full-time job and all these other gigs that I was fighting to get. Then I had an admin person who came in. She was just doing all the admin work, quotations, invoices, marketing, sub application for tenders, and all that. So that's how resources became more apparent, and we ended up buying our first car, which was a Nissan Tida.
Awe,
Yo, that
awe,
thing was
inja yeke matota.
good. It was tough. That car, you would spend more time underneath it than inside it. So yeah,
That's how it
until
goes.
yeah, but it served its purpose. It managed to take the business to new heights. Because being mobile now, you could
Yeah.
reach clients better. You could make arrangements easier rather than having to hop into these taxis and going all around. That would be very costly, and trying to manage time, which is the biggest resource that you have to manage when you are doing business. Uh, it made things easier until we managed to upgrade to the one that I'm using now. So now currently we are having I have four okay, two construction projects that are running now. I'm an electrical designer and contractor there, and I have other two that are still in the design phase that will be starting soon. Uh, at the stage that I'm at, I wouldn't say they are very big projects, but I would still say they can give me uh, a return that is good enough to keep pushing the business. So now, in terms of electrical personnel, I'm still recruiting at a project basis, but we are still trying to get to a level where we have full-time employees. Yeah. So I think that can give you a perspective of what's happening and where we are at the moment. Uh, Maybe I can give you a chance to maybe think on what I've just shared, or
It's
if you
like
might have something.
it's like you wanted to answer all the questions that I had for you at one shot.
Not necessarily, but
No, I like
maybe
that.
the fact talking, I didn't give you a chance. But we can still go through the questions, even if some of the things are repeated. It will give me more chance and time to really emphasize on those things.
No, the one thing that I'm concerned about is that you said you got a service package from Techmal. Now I'm wondering which Techmal did I work for? Because I got nothing.
Dude, I'm not talking about any extra funds. I'm just talking about the money they owed me.
I thought maybe there was
So,
a service package to say,
okay, what I'm just trying to say is they gave me the salaries that they owed me, and I just took all that money and invested it into business. It was a tough decision, bro.
No, but I'm glad you did what you did, and it seems
Yeah.
like right now it's really working out for you, and you are with what you've just said. I can tell that you are doing so well. But then, as you said that you've started as a project coordinator in Techmal, so now you have your company whereby you have those two electrical projects, and then you are still full-time employed. So, I remember
Yes.
there's a program that you shared to me to track projects on where projects are and how much is needed for a certain project. So, what I want to understand is how do you now manage in terms of the allocating funds, allocating time, and ensuring that you still give the client uh, their products in the agreed time. What is your strategy, and what do you think that most people can implement in order for them to have successful projects? More especially for those guys that are in construction, the guys that have projects. What are the tips that you can give on that regard?
Okay. Having worked in the consultancy space, you get to understand where the project starts, where it goes, and where it ends. So first of all, when you do the design, you have to make sure that you have taken into account everything that is required for that project. Everything is priced according to its quantities. Uh, if necessary, you have to use a quantity surveyor. Uh, but usually, our spec is for special services like electrical, plumbing, aircon and ventilation systems. So those are specialist services, and they are usually QS is just sort of allocate budgets for those, and that's where electrical contractors and mechanical contractors come in. So back to how to manage the cost. When you have done the design, quantified and priced it, it gives you the project budget. Then when you are doing all that, you include the prices and the figures that are required for the labor, the number of people that will be required, all the PNGs. The PNGs are determined by how long the project is going to run. If it's a 3 month project and you'll be having people on site 5 days a week, are you going to be providing food for them? Which is it tea at 10 a.m., lunch, and another tea at 3 p.m.? Those are some of the decisions that you need to make prior to starting a project so that you really quantify the amount of PNGs that you would require. Are your, are your personnel going to be coming from their homes to your site, or are they staying on site? Security concerns regarding number of people who will be coming through the site, where you are storing your equipment, where you are storing your material, who has access to that, who is responsible for reporting on the progress, who is responsible for managing the material. So all those things, they play part in determining the costs of running the project. So if those are predetermined, it will make it easier for you to really manage the cost. So the project plan now gives you room to spread the cost, to say the first month, these are the tasks that we'll be doing and the cost associated with those tasks and the teams that will be responsible for those tasks and how long each task is going to take so that you can plan and manage your resources. So after that, uh, you need to have someone who tracks the costs
Mm,
because projects at this day and age, they've moved from so primarily projects were based on quality and time it takes to complete the project. But now projects, they are more value based. So because before the project starts, the client uh, gives you a budget to say, look, yeah, I want to do this, but this is my budget. So you have to give it's more like the Chinese setup to say, we can give you whatever you want at the cost that you've got. And that also affects the time, the quality of work, the amount of personnel, all those things, they come into play. But also not saying that you do a short job just because the monies are low. It's just that it gives you a perspective of where you really need to manage in terms of costing, so that you can give the client a very cost-effective budget and or proposal, so that you can deliver a quality product.
Thank you, man.
So yeah, you need to have a team of people that you really trust in
You,
order to achieve that.
I remember we worked it was you and also Tendai, but I've worked with
Yes.
a couple of engineers also from Zimbabwe. And what I've noticed is that in terms of effectiveness, being on time and also implementing new things, it's something that you guys find very easy. So how do you or what do you think is the driving source in terms of improving um engineering or infrastructure and construction sites in Zimbabwe? What are the things that maybe that side you would say we are really good when it comes to this, and so far we are doing so well? Mr. Gore?
Be different from if you are, yes.
Yeah. I understand that you've
You can
been,
hear me.
yeah, I can hear you. So
Okay.
with the experience that you had in South Africa and now back home, if you were to compare the two, what would be the comparison?
Okay. Where to work, or where to expand my career, even my business ventures. I would probably choose my home country because one, that's where I'm from. Two, it's an environment that I'm used to, and it's an environment that I've been in since growing up to now. But the short stint that I got into in the SA environment, it also gave me a perspective that professionally, South Africa is more focused on safety rather than general
I'm having a
project
hard time
progress.
seeing you now. I only see the sun.
Okay. So I'm saying in South Africa, you are more focused on safety. Not that in Zim we neglect safety, but look, uh, yeah, on all of our projects, we have a safety officer. Yeah, and they are staff as you, but usually the client doesn't have a safety officer. So the managing of that is a bit tricky in that the contractor's safety officer will be more malleable to his employer than the SA setup, where you are reporting to your company, but at the same time you have a mandate uh, to report to the client as well, and the client has someone who is doing sort of an oversight on your projects. So we are very strict when it comes to safety, but we do our inductions, preparations, EIAs, all that is done. But once people start doing the work, yeah, it's rare where you have a bit of situations where safety clashes with project implementation. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure you
You
have spent
remember in
good time there.
we got is it 3 sites in Bloemfontein that were closed like in a space of an hour?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of
So
compliance.
exactly, safety files and all that. Yeah, yeah. Then in terms of when you said in Zim, we Zim engineer seems to be able to manage change. They sort of is it creative? Oh, they can manage the creative side of the industry. It's easy for them to adopt, learn, and implement. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. In Zim, there are two types of schools. We've got the private schools and the public schools. Uh, Even though the paradigm is sort of shifting with time, because everything now is a cost bracket where everyone can fit in. It can be a private school, but the costing would be more affordable to others than the general private schools that we had when we were growing up. So the setup was in our school would probably have not enough textbooks for everyone. So the whole thing was sort of you had to book to say, I'm gonna need to use that book such such a date, such a time. So when you had that resource, you would know, if I don't make use of it now, someone is gonna take it,
Yeah.
make use of it, whilst I didn't make the most of the time that I had. So that's the sort of perspective that we had. So the sort of fighting spirit is it was sort of an incident of how we grew up. But now I have come to understand that, like for my kids, where they are going to school, every child has got their
Yeah,
own resources.
yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's more personalized than it was central for us. Yeah. So you can, but there is a theory that says hard times create strong men, and strong men create soft times, which in turn create soft men who create hard times. You understand?
I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
it's sort of
A reverse, a
yeah,
wheel.
because like the guys who experienced apartheid, they understand it at a different level from the guys who didn't experience it.
Oh,
So now these guys who managed to get apartheid out of the system, they created these times for you guys. But it could turn in a way that you can get yourself back into a different mess because of the soft times that have been created for you. But for us here in Zim, things are a bit difficult. The road is not as straight as it is of course, it probably would be not be the right word to say for you guys, because it's for you guys also, it's not for everyone. But that's basically the thing. So there is also another saying that you can only run as fast as what's chasing you.
yeah.
So if you are being chased by a lion, you have to
Outrun the
move
lion.
faster than someone chased by a dog.
Okay. So just before that video ended, you were talking about the political landscape of South Africa. So for someone who's maybe outside of Zimbabwe and would like to, maybe an investor or someone who would like to come and partner with you or do business in Zimbabwe, even though they are not maybe doing it with you. How would you describe the political climate that side? Is is it good for investors? Is it good for people that want to just come there and explore, or even for tourists? How's the political landscape in general?
The political space here, it gives you room to do business, but the only challenge is the registrations that are required. They are becoming more and more, and the costs associated with doing that, it's a bit on the high side for people who are starting in the perspective of not having a serious investment behind them.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you have an investment that is a bit serious, those fees they will look manageable.
And then in terms of those,
Yeah,
um, sorry, man.
yeah, okay. Then in terms of business opportunities, uh, they are quite a lot, but it's all about the investment cost that is required and a lot of marketing that is required because Zimbabweans, to some extent, they have a little bit of brand loyalty in terms of consumables like foodstuffs, uh,
Okay.
okay, groceries for let's say, uh, and certain products like clothing. They have yeah. You the advantage is whatever you are selling, you can find a market for that. You just have to know where to sell, which will be your niche market. So you would really need to invest in marketing and product knowledge, product investment, product development, all that. But if we are going into industries, there is a lot of development that is happening in terms of infrastructure. We have a lot of there is densification that is happening in Harare and the major cities, where the residential stands that used to belong to one person, that person is now selling, and we are doing cluster homes.
Oh,
So with that's where we are getting some of these projects that we are doing, where these densification projects are happening. So if you got a serious investment portfolio, you could do that. You could invest money in property, and the returns, cash, they are quite significant because here in Zim, property is very, very expensive. There was a time when I had an interview, when I was listening to an interview that was happening at one of the radio stations. They were talking about the cost of property in South Africa versus the cost of property in Zimbabwe. So the type of property and the price that you'd get it for in South Africa was quite lower than if you were to have that same budget to get a similar property here in Zim. Probably this is because most of our products that we use on these projects, we get the materials from South Africa. So they always come with a duty that is associated with that.
yeah.
So the costing will being inflated as compared to to when you are doing a project that's like, oh. And on another note, I have a project that I'll be doing there by Centon. There's a guy who is building a very beautiful house, and I'm going to be part of the team that will be doing electrical installations at that development. It's still early stages, but when that sells through, probably it will be an opportunity to meet because I'll be having frequent visits that side, probably
Ah,
on weekends.
that's beautiful,
Uh,
my brother. That's very beautiful. We'll be happy to see you as well coming
I
to
thought you
South
were gonna say, these foreigners, they are taking all our jobs.
You know what the atmosphere is with what you just said, Nep. I don't think
Yeah,
uh, all South Africans have that mentality. I think a lot of South
yeah,
Africans now, you remember when you were this side, you were legally in the country, you had all your papers, even the chairman is the one that
yeah,
ensured that you are this side, you see. So I think most of the things
yeah, yeah,
that cause this conflict is maybe the guys that are not documented, they are not legally in the country. But for people like you with a special skill that come to also develop the country or ensure that a certain development done swiftly, it's always good. So what I also wanted to find out from you is, now I understand that that side you are using the US dollar. So as compared to
yes,
South African rand, I remember when I was in Zim, I bought food and I was
yeah.
happy because they were very expensive. So now with you being in South Africa and then you had to go back, how did you adjust to the rates?
Okay. So being in South Africa, my family was here in Zim, so I constantly had to deal with that. So to some extent, you would have a little bit of conflict to say, look, I've sent you this much money. You would if you compare it to how much you can do with that money in SA versus what it could do in Zim, then you would have a very big disparity. But what I've come to understand is you would really need to understand the cost of living uh, as of Zim versus the cost of living of South Africa. Uh, those two, there is quite a significant gap because I think with having rents and bills aside, I think for food, I think I would use probably 1,000 rand, if not less. But if you take that same amount of money and you try to use it here in Zim, you
You are
are
in
in
trouble.
trouble. It's probably at least 2,000 or around 1.7.
For you to
You
survive.
understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the difference. But if the advantage of doing business in Zim is if you do your business in Zim and you get the US dollar, you have a stronger currency and it will perform more when when you go to South Africa. You
Yeah.
understand?
With
Because
that,
a strong currency performs better in an environment where you are exchanging it for the local currency. Oh
yeah,
no. But if we are talking SADC in general and investment in business opportunities, I think we ought to look at Zambia because I've been investigating and contemplating expanding businesses into that space. At the moment, the requirements in terms of registrations and regulations, they are not very strict as compared to Zim in South Africa. Uh, and the the majority of the business space is sort of informal rather than formal.
Yeah.
So if you are to have a company there in Zambia and you start getting products from South Africa, getting them to Zambia, you resell, you would actually get a, a, a better return as compared to doing the same here in Zim, because the processes now that are required for you to get products outside the country into this space for resale, you you find out that the rates that you have to pay in order to get the product here versus the cost at which that product is being sold at in the market, there is the profit margins, they are very, very small. But when I was investigating Zambia, uh, there was still there are not much players that are. It's not densified as how much it's happening in Zim. Like 90% of, okay, maybe 90% is an overkill. I would say half of the people who are self-employed, they are actually exporting things. Okay, I'm not sure of the technology. Importing or exporting, okay, just bringing products from South Africa to Zim. That's what most of those people are, cross-border traders.
And with
So that in itself, yeah, you can speak.
yeah, with what you've just mentioned about
Yeah, I'm listening to you now.
with having better rates in or returns from Zambia as compared to in Zimbabwe or in South Africa. What I wanted to find out is that are you have you done any work to like cross-border work? Maybe we have a collaboration with someone in South Africa, someone in maybe King Muswati. Okay, in I shouldn't say that. Ebongo Musa from Swaziland. Are you able to do some work with someone maybe who's in Botswana? Since you've also mentioned SADC, are you willing to do collaborations that will cross the border, or have you done them so far?
Currently in South Africa, I'm working with a company called Regana. It's their offices. They are in Boksburg, I think. That's where I get some of the products that I receive here in Zim. Then the other company, it's I don't have the it's is it uh they sell this it's I buy bulk meters and pumps from for them for that I use that I resell in this petroleum space. I'm forgetting the name. If you
Zimbabwe.
remember those days when I was when we did that purchase that was coming to Zim, if you remember, and I had the funds transferred into your when you liaised to the whole procurement process for for that order. If you still remember,
Yeah,
that
I still
same
remember, but
company,
I
it's
can't.
M&H Pump,
MNH pump. You still
M&H. Yeah, I'm still doing some business with them. Then I wanted to do that Kovic thing, but I'm still a bit small as a company in order to trade with them. Their requirements, they are a bit significant, they're a bit on the high side. So that's what's happening. I've just arrived at one of the sites that I'm doing.
okay.
Let me see if I can switch the camera for you to see. Okay, yeah. So this is the house that I'm doing.
Oh,
I'm
Baba,
doing all
that's
the
a
electric.
hey. Baba, that structure there.
Good. Yeah, it's a glass house, bro. So
I can see.
these
So,
are
hey,
things. Yeah, that's the neighborhood that we've got.
this is
Okay,
this is
so
beautiful. Is this now in Harare?
yeah, it's in Iraq.
And is that a residential area or commercial space?
It's a residential.
It's very beautiful,
It's
bruh.
the
I see they also
yeah.
have the butterfly roof. Hey, it's high end quality, baba.
Yeah, yeah. I will, as a side note, I will show you the interiors
Yeah.
uh,
I think maybe
on a
what you
more.
can maybe you can
Yeah.
take some pictures for us that we can also include in this video, and then we can show them at the end of the video. Probably there might be business from since you are coming to South Africa for that certain job, maybe someone would be even more interested to get in touch with you. Another thing I
Okay.
wanted to find out, maybe we are approaching the closing, is that your business, except for where you are employed now, with what I understood, it was that you are in the petroleum space. But from what I've heard, now I believe that there's also some of the construction work that you do. So really, what are the departments? I remember we used to have mines and projects, but with you, I feel like there's quite a variety of departments.
Yeah. So the idea is, at first I was more focused on the on the petroleum side,
Okay.
but then me being an electrical engineer, uh, on a I would also get these electrical jobs to do them. So I ended up understanding that you need to diversify in order to create more value for yourself, in order to create more opportunities for yourself. So with that note, we are still doing petroleum. Uh, we we are pushing products mostly. We haven't got any construction projects in the
Yet.
petroleum space as of yet. We are still trying to set up all the licenses, the registrations that are required
Mm.
for you to do that. But in the electrical space, it's more of a professional career path for me. So you meet more clients in that regard uh, uh, as compared to the petroleum space. On the petroleum space, we have to do rigorous marketing, but on the electrical space, it's more of recommendations. You do a very good job at one project, you are recommended to another. So the space that we are doing is we are doing solar installations, we are doing electrical installations for home, for industry. Uh, and then on the other two projects that we are doing, it's actually 10 key projects where I'm responsible for the entire construction process from project valuation, uh, appointment of contractors, management of progress and quality, management of budgets, and all that. Because most of our clients, they just want the maximum return they can get on their property. So we try and make the development as cost effective as possible. So our process starts from getting the architectural plans. We do our civil, structural, electrical, and mechanical designs. When we have done that, all those they are priced, and we have bills for that. Then we put all those bills together with some of the bills that are done by the quantity surveyors that are not specialist services. Then we come up with a composite bill of how much the project is going to cost in terms of material and in terms of labor and in terms of regulations, all the costs that are associated with the project. When we have done that, then we create a program of works. This program of works includes the cost. How can I put this? The budgetary requirements of each stage and a payment schedule to say that initiation we
This is
need
how
this
much.
much.
Yeah.
After we need much. So the client would then tell us, guys, my budget, it tells me you need, let's say, 400,000, or you need 1 million, you need 2 million. I can give you this money in a year. Then it's now up to us to say, okay, so if you're going to give us in a year, if it's 1.2 million, then we are going to have 100,000 every month. That's a planning. Then on our project plan, we then adjust it to suit that kind of cash injection, so that by the time we complete the project, we don't have deficits in terms of project delivery. We don't have deficits in
Right.
terms of costing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't manage P&Gs, as I was saying, you would have a project overrun in those areas,
Mm.
rather than managing the costs at the initiation of the project. Because the other thing is, some clients, they are not really clear when you are starting a project. They just you tell them, this is gonna cost you 400,000 US dollars. Then they say, okay, I'm gonna give you 200,000 now. I'll give you the other money when you are
When
at
you're
this stage
done.
of the project.
Yeah.
It doesn't give an insight as to what timelines are we working on in terms of funding, because that is key. Because you can get half of the money now, yet the guy is going to get the other half after 2 years. And you get to a point where the project is staffed, and the you, as the contractor, uh, you are incurring losses
That's
now
true.
of having people on site. You need, if you, let's say you need 10,000 bricks, and you deplete that in 2 days. But if you are getting them as 1,000 bricks every 2 weeks, you still gonna have people on site that would need to eat, that would need transport money. And when projects are like that, you also have high employee turnover, because you won't be able to keep. When you tell someone, you have to come for 2 days, you are not. If they come for 2 days, you have to pay them for two
Yeah.
days. That's project sense.
Mm.
But if that person does a certain job and they go, when you call them, look, I need you for another 2 days,
They won't come.
he's already engaged in another. So you end up having high turnover. And when you have high turnover, especially in specialist services like electrical, plumbing, HVAC systems, data and communications, alarms and security, those areas, they are difficult to manage, because once the wiring has been done or the containment has been put in place, you would need the person who did that containment to assist you in knowing how to then do all the routing. Otherwise, it's going to take more time in trying to understand how the existing systems have been put in place, which is another cost. So there are quite a few things that you need to keep in mind when you are doing these projects.
We have ideas on a lot of countries. If you ask me what I think about Lesotho, I will tell you what I think, but um it's not the fact that it's sure. I've never been to Lesotho even. So if someone who's outside Zimbabwe were to be told on what is life like in Zimbabwe and how's business like in Zimbabwe, what is it that you would tell that person to try to bring them up to speed? Because we have our own ideas on this is what we think about a particular country, but it's not necessarily true. So, from you being a person in Zimbabwe and also a business, well, I should say a business that's doing so well in the country, what would you say?
Okay, so the Zimbabwean space, like every other space, you just need to understand how the economy functions, because in understanding how the economy functions, what government policies are being put in place, all those things, they give you an understanding of where the opportunities are. But if you just come in as a raw person, you've got your money, you just want to do something, or you come with your, I'll give an example of Tegma Petroleum Services. When they came to Zim, they had the South African idea and tried to implement it the way it was being implemented in South Africa. They wanted to do the same here in Zim. So the challenge that did was it, it was being funded by a weaker currency, and the costs in Zim, they are better. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, when you are when you are doing the business in Zim, you first need to understand how your competition is thriving. How are they surviving? How have they been in the market for over 20 years, for over 30 years? What have they been doing? And what advantage are you bringing into the market that can give you an edge over someone who's been doing it for the past 20 years? How are you going to convince a client who is loyal to that
To migrate.
company, someone who knows that company alone, to say, look, I'm doing the same that these guys do,
Mm.
uh, but I'm doing it better, or I'm doing it more efficiently. You really need to know uh, what's your edge when you are coming in. And there is also one thing that I've come to understand in business, that business is about relationships. So some people, they are getting jobs because of the relationship that they have with the client,
Mm.
versus because if you just go out in the market, and for example, the market is flooded with um, solar installation companies. But when you are doing a choice of contractors to do that work, first of all, people look for references to say, let me go and look for someone who's got a system, a similar system installed in at their premises, and who did they use? If they had any comebacks in terms of when the job was done, how was their response in terms of maintenance, in terms of troubleshooting? So that's how you then get the next job. You understand?
Yeah.
So that is one thing that TPS, when they came to Zim, they didn't put that into perspective. And also project pricing and evaluation. That's also key, because now, because of the cost of things in Zim and how volatile the market is, everyone is just trying to make the most of an investment that they do. So in that, you have to really provide tailor-made solutions that can give you an edge to the client, that you can tell them, look, I'm going to do this at this cost without compromising quality.
Mm.
And you explain your process. Uh, be open. All our cabinetry, we get it from China, or all our products, we get them from South Africa. This is our procurement process. This is how the systems run. This is why we are saying we can do this in 3 months, because our material is going to take 2 weeks to get here. Our preparations are going to take this much. So you really have to explain the process to the client for them to really understand the need for you to be in that project. For example, in the consultancy space, uh, people, when an architect has just done an architectural design, the next thing that they are looking for is a builder to come in and build, unless the regulations tell them, no, you can't do this without an engineer. That's when they sort out consultant services. But the role of consultancy is more of trying to mediate between the client and the contractor. You make sure the client gets the best product at the most affordable cost.
Mm.
get the best service at the most affordable cost,
Yeah.
making sure that some of the things that, because when a contractor just comes into a project, their mandate is just to get as much money out of the project. They don't have the client interests at heart at best. Usually, they are always focused on saying, if they have a product that they are supplying that is very costly compared to one in the market, they will try as much as possible to recommend the product that they have so that the client leans towards that. But if you have a consultant, the consultant is there to do adjudication on the product that is being supplied for the project and what's necessary for the project so that you manage the cost. The costing of a consultant, it's insignificant as compared to the damage that just dealing with the contractor directly does if you don't really know the cost and the implications that that cost has on your project.
Yeah, my brother, I'm very glad to had had this interview with you because I'm learning a lot as I'm talking to you now. And I believe this is an episode that someone can always go back to and find some solutions. Someone can also go to this interview to learn a few things. So, in closing, if you were to market your business or maybe um to say a few things just in closing, I just got distracted there. One of the kids came in.
Okay, okay. Good man, come. We,
Oh, shout out, shout out. So yeah, just in close,
yeah,
just to wrap it up, what is it that you can
okay.
say? Yeah, that person must come in so that we can see the air.
Generation.
Yeah. Yo, Kamu. It
Hi,
was. How's it?
I'm good.
Yeah, present dates. I like this. I like this, buddy.
Yeah, they are at the construction site, so you
Yes,
have to learn the ropes.
he's already getting experience.
Yeah, okay. So in closing, I think all I can say is business is not an easy road. You have to keep pushing. You need to have the faith. Like I was saying, I didn't have the faith to get someone on a payroll, but once I got started on that, I haven't skipped a month to make sure they are taken care of.
Shout out.
So, um, so somehow God put this system in place so that you will provide the resources that are required for all that to be done. Yeah. So just keep the hustle going.
Keep the hustle going. Thank you so much, my brother, for giving us this opportunity. We wish the best for your business and you as an individual, as a father as well, as a husband. We really hope for the best, man. And we hope this is not the last one, and we will have more of this. If there's new developments, if there's new political developments, if business is doing great, if now you've got those collaboration with other companies, maybe we can work together in the future. Maybe we can have this again. Maybe we would have it live. Maybe we'll have it in Zim. But we really appreciate your time and we appreciate the insightful information that you shared with us today. Really, man, we appreciate.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Enjoy your day.
All right. Bye.